So today we'll be looking at finding a confident interval of our mean using the TI-84 graphing calculator. So in this example I have taken a sample. I found that my sample mean is 19, my sample standard deviation was 6.8, and my sample size was 50, and I want to know with 95% confidence what my true population mean is. So I want to find an interval of where the mean might fall based on this sample of 50 elements. So we're going to go to our stats menu, our stat button over here, and this time we're going to go to test. And then we're going to arrow down, and you see we have two choices, either a z-interval test or t-interval test. Now please refer to your notes to know when you should use a z-interval and when you should use a t-interval. Now in this sample I do not know the population standard deviation, but my sample size is quite large at 50, so I am still going to use the z-interval in this case. So highlight that, press enter, and we can either test using the statistics from our sample, or we can use the data from our sample. Now to use the data, you would just simply enter in all the data into your one of your lists. Please see some of my other videos if you're not sure how to do that. Or you can do it by simply entering in some of the one variable statistics on your sample. And that's what I'm going to do in this example. So first it's asking me for the population standard deviation. Again, I don't know that, but since my sample is 50, we're going to go ahead and act like this is my population deviation. So as you see in my example, my sample, it was 6.8, so I'm going to enter that. And then arrow down, my sample mean was 19. My sample size was 50. And now I want to tell it to what confident level I want. In my example, I'm wanting a 95% confident interval. So I'm going to type in 95, go to calculate, and this gives me my interval of my mean. So my sample was 19. That is my best single point estimate of the population. But my interval estimate is somewhere between 17.12 and 20.89, or round to whatever appropriate level it is for the question. If we wanted to, let's say we changed my sample size from 50, now we're only going to do a sample of 20. So we're going to rerun the test, but this time I do not have enough information or enough sample size to use a z-interval, so this time I need to use a t-interval. Again, refer back to your notes to find out why I'm changing to from a z to a t when I change my sample size. However, the actual test itself in the calculator is almost identical. It is still asking me for my sample mean, which is still 19. This time it's asking for my sample standard deviation. So we're going to enter 6.8. And my sample size, which in this example is now 20. Still want the 95% confident level. When I calculate, it should be no surprise that my interval has actually grown since my sample size went from 50 to 20. If you're not sure why that happened, please again refer to your notes or ask assistance from your teacher. And thank you again for watching my TI-84 graphing calculator instructional videos.